Yes, my dear children, we were doing Lesson 5 Quality, written by John Galsworthy. In the story, the author shares his own emotions and experience attached to Gessler Brothers, the bootmaker, and we have seen how the author compares the shoe shop with the church, and the smell he finds there is compared to burning incense. We read that though the brothers made the best shoes or boots which would last terribly, the big firms by advertisements were taking away all their business. Now let's read further. We have to read from this paragraph. It was many months before my next visit to his shop. This time it appeared to be his elder brother, handling a piece of leather. So after many months, that is not even year or couple of years, he's mentioning only after some months he went to the shop, and this time he found that it was the elder brother or elder brother of the Gesslers. Well, Mr. Gessler, I said, how are you? So the author asked him how he was. He came closer and peered at me. That is, he looked at me. I'm pretty well. I'm pretty well means I'm pretty well. He's okay, he said slowly. But my elder brother is dead. But what? His elder brother is dead. And the author was thinking the person who is standing there is the elder brother. Actually, this was the younger one. Only in few months, this younger brother has grown so weak, so old. Maybe because of the struggle, maybe because lack of money or business or tension. Within few months, this younger brother started looking like his elder brother. And elder brother is already gone. He is no more. And I saw that it was indeed himself, but how aged and worn. And then John Galsworthy looked at Gessler more attentively, and he found that this was the younger brother himself. But then he started thinking in his mind that how aged and worn. Worn means a person appearing pale and giving the impression of illness or exhaustion. That is, he is looking very pale, he is looking very ill and exhausted. And never before had I heard him mention his brother. And whenever, since his childhood, he is visiting Mr. Gessler's boot shop, but he has never heard either of the brother mentioning the other brother. Okay, so he's telling, I have never heard this younger brother mention about his elder brother. And he was shocked to hear about this news. Much shocked, I murmured, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, he answered. He was a good man. He made a good boot. He said he was a good man and he made good boots. But he is dead. And he touched the top of his head, where the hair had suddenly gone as thin as it had been on that of the poor brother, to indicate, I suppose, the cause of his death. Now, the younger one said, yes, my brother was good and he used to make very good boots, but he is now dead. Then he touched his hair on the head, and those hair had gone so weak. That means there is something wrong with his brothers, that even this younger brother is looking so aged. Do you want any boots? He asked. Do you want any boots? And he held up the leather in his hand. It's a beautiful piece, he said. It's a beautiful piece. I ordered several pairs. It was very long before they came, but they were better than ever. So he ordered, just to head. See, this author is buying boots from this shop. You must have heard every time that whenever he is ordering several pairs. This is only with an intention to help the Gessler brothers in some way so that he can financially support this Gessler brothers. So he ordered several pairs of boots. It was very long before they came. This time, as only one person was working on the boots, it took longer than as usual. But they were better than ever, but they were best. One simply could not wear them out. And soon after that, I went abroad. By seeing such beautiful shoes, it was not easy for them. See, whenever we have something very precious, something very beautiful, we think to keep it in reserve, to keep it safe so that they don't get dusty or worn out. So these boots were so beautiful that author never felt like wearing them and just spoil it. And then after buying these, after getting the order of these boots, after the getting these boots done, the author had to travel to abroad. It was over a year before I was again in London. So he came back to London after 1 year. And the first shop I went to was my old friend's. And the first shop that he went was his old friend's shop. I had a, I had left a man of 60. I came back to one of 75, pinched and worn, who genuinely this time did not at first know me. Now you can see how worsened the condition of this Gessler brother is. Within an year, he looked more and more aged, around 15 years older than what he should have looked. Last time when he came and visited this younger brother, he was around 60 years. But in 1 year, he has turned so weak and pale that he started looking like he is 75 years old. So there was something really miserable, something really serious in this person's life. He was looking so pinched and worn. Pinched and worn means more weak and more exhausted. And at first, this younger brother had some kind of loss of memory that he could not recognize his regular client. Do you want any boots? He asked. Do you want any boots? He said. I can make them quickly. It is a slack time. He said, I can make them quickly. It is a slack time. SLACK, slack time. Now, what is a slack time? Slack time is a term used in project management to help people figure out how much time is available between the various steps of project. That is how much time he will actually need to prepare the boot. Only that manufacturing time he needs without lapsing any time. So he said, I can make boots, but only it will take slack time, that is preparation time. That's all. I'll make them as soon as possible. I answered, please, please, I want boots all around, every kind. So this time what author said, I want. Now he was more concerned about this brother, Gessler brother, and he wanted to help more. So he said, I want more boots and I want boots of every kind. I had given those boots up when one evening they came. Given those boots up means he had no hope that he will get the boots, because seeing his condition he was weak, and I have given the order of so many boots, I don't think he'll be able to deliver it. So he had thought that they would never come. Those boots were never come. He had almost dropped the idea of getting the boots, and one fine evening those boots came. One by one I tried them on, in shape and in fit, in finish and quality of leather, they were the best he had ever made. So what is saying that even after that brother was so weak and lean and exhausted and worn out, but still the quality of boot he made was the best this time, whether in fit or finish or shape or the quality of leather, it was the best he had ever made. I flew downstairs, wrote a check and posted it at once with my own hand. So he came downstairs running, he wrote the check and he posted it, the amount to the person, to the Gessler brother himself. A week later, passing the little street, I thought I would go in tell him how splendidly the new boots fitted. So a week later, the author was passing that little street. So he just had an idea that he just drop in to Gessler Brothers shop and he will give an appreciation. Splendidly means in magnificent or in very impressive way those boots had fitted. But when I came to where his shop had been, his name was gone. To his surprise, when he reached there, his shop was entirely changed. His name board, Gessler Brothers name board, was not there. This worried author. I went in very much disturbed. He went inside the shop very much disturbed. He was very upset and he was curious to know what happened, why the shape of the shop has changed. In the shop, there was a young man with an English face. So, the shop had changed, the person inside has also changed. Mr. Gessler in? I said. No, sir, he said. No, but we can attend to anything with pleasure. We have taken the shop over. That Englishman, the one who looked like an English person, he said, Sir, Mr. Gessler is not here, but with pleasure we can attend all your needs, and we have taken over the shop from Gessler's. Yes, yes, I said. But Mr. Gessler, he said, okay, okay, that's fine. But where is Mr. Gessler? Oh, he answered, dead. And this was shocking. Dead? But I only received these boots from him last Wednesday week. He's telling, I received these boots only last week. How come he is dead? So you can see the change of the shoe shop. It's entirely changed. A new person and beautifully decorated. Ah, he said, poor old man starved himself. Now, what is the meaning of starved? Starved means die out of hunger. Okay, slow starvation, the doctor called it. What did the doctor say? That he died because of slow starvation, hunger. You see, he went to work in such a way, would keep the shop on, wouldn't have a soul touch his boots except himself. He said, you can see how he used to work. He used to keep his shop open late night and there was no one to buy shoes from him. It was only Gessler who was touching his shoes. When he got an order, it took him such a time, and whenever he used to get an order, as he was manufacturing, making the shoes with his own hand, and he was doing it very carefully, so it used to take a long time than the machine done boots. So people won't wait these days. People don't have time to wait for orders to take so long. He lost everybody, so he lost all his customers, and there he would sit going on, and there he would sit and do some or other kind of work. I will say that for him, not a man in London made a better boot. So he said that according to him, there was no person in London could make a better boot than him. But the shopkeeper is not valuing actually the talent of Gessler brother. Okay, but look at the competition. Though he may be a good boot maker, but look at the competition. He never advertised. Would have the best leather too, though he had the best leather because lack of advertisement, as he was not advertising his product, there were no soul to touch his boots and do it all himself. He used to do all the work by himself with his own hands without using machineries. Well, there it is. What could you expect with his ideas? So, with his ideas, what do you think better could happen to him but starvation? What happened to him? As he was adamant on not exploring the market and not advertising his product, what was the result? Starvation. That may be a bit flowery, as the saying is. Bit flowery means that may be a bit complicated. But I know myself, he was sitting over his boots day and night to the very last, you see. So he said, I know it myself. Till his death, he was sitting in his shop and making boots. I used to watch him, never gave himself time to eat. He never gave himself, he was just busy with his art. He was so preoccupied with his mind and making better boots that he would not give himself time to eat. Never had a penny in the house. Now, how he is going to eat? He never had a penny in the house. If there is no money, from where he is going to get the food? So he used to invest all his time and money, whatever he used to have, into buying new leathers and improving the quality of his work. But there was no buyer for him. All went in rent. Whatever money he could get used to go in rent. When you say all went in rent, that means the shop was not their own. It was on rent and leather. All money used to go into for their rented shop and for buying the leather. How he lived so long, I don't know. How he lived without food, I don't know. See, there are some people who take fasting for so many, maybe for 1 month they do fasting. Their body actually gets adapted to the circumstance. They whatever stored food is there in the body tries to utilize this. So people, even though they would be starving, they survive for a longer period. Okay. He regularly let his fire go out. Fire go out means self extinguishing. Go by itself means you are not doing anything to stop it from self extinguishing. His business was extinguished by itself. These brothers did not do anything to keep up their business. He was a character, but he made good boots. Yes, I said he made good boots, and the author was very much shocked. Quality, written by John Galsworthy, simplified and abridged. Abridged means it was a long story, and for children like you, it has been simplified. The language has been simplified, and the story has been shortened. So, my dear children, we find this is the sad end of the story. Though the Gessler brothers made the best shoes or boots, but they could not update themselves to keep up with the competition in the business and ultimately starved to death. Gessler brothers were hardworking and passionate towards their work. In Quality by John Galsworthy, we have the theme of commitment, determination, loyalty, honesty, dedication, and ultimately loss. With this, your chapter completes. And to master your vocabulary, learn the words or phrases won, slick time, given up, splendid, starved, flowery, fire go out. Thank you.